All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G. And I'll just go ahead on and do a little live right now. Saints been real quiet. Their season has came to an end. It's basically the off season for them right now on the outside looking in at the playoff teams. Our rivals, the division, our rivals in the division, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Well, they'll be playing a playoff game versus very unhealthy Eagles in the divided locker room, as it seems. So that game could really go either way. Like a lot of people wanted to see the Saints be in the playoffs and get a playoff win, be at home and maybe host the Eagles. The Eagles are looking pretty bad right now. You got Jalen Hurts, he's injured. You got AJ Brown, he's injured. Um, the locker room just don't seem to be together right now. They lost the coordinators, they lost a few players, and a lot of people felt like that might take a toll on the team, and it looks like it has, man. That's why I say, man, coaching matters, man. When you have a good season, a lot of other teams they come rip apart your whole culture. They take away your players, they take away your coordinators. Not many good teams just get to run it back. You know, and that's the good with the bad that you got to take when you're a successful team. A lot of your good coordinators they get head coaching offers, and they don't want to just be a coordinator forever. They want a head coaching job. And that looked like the case for a lot of successful teams. But with the Saints, I don't even know if any coordinator would like to come for to work with us and be under DA. That's the thing about us. We bringing in John Gruden. They talking about he's going to be some type of assistant. I don't think he's that type of personality that would like to be just an assistant role. I think he's going to be the offensive coordinator. He works very closely with Derek Carr before. They had some success. Um, I'm hearing stories that they didn't even really get along like that. So there's going to be a whole new things going on the offensive side of the ball. Now, a lot of people feel like, well, if it's a new offensive coordinator, that's just going to be yet another offense that the team going to have to learn. Derek Carr going to have to learn a whole nother offensive playbook. Derek Carr and Jameis Winston, they have their cult following, and they'll all tell you that they had all these different coordinators throughout their career and kept having to start over, hit the reset button, and learn a whole new playbook like the Yellow Pages. And that's not easy. You want to be in the same playbook and get comfortable with it and build a bond and a relationship with your head coach or your offensive coordinator if you're a quarterback. And that's how you can sustain success. But if you keep on having to reset the button, you're gonna have to learn something and get used to it and comfortable with it, and you're just not gonna hit the ground running until probably like a month in. But if we have Gruden, you know, he already kind of got a feel for what Gruden offense is, so maybe that's the route they're gonna go. You know, or just keep Pete Carmichael, but Gruden have a lot of advisory over Derek Carr. So either way it go, they look to have success on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, I believe that they're gonna just try to draft like maybe an edge rusher to, you know, get better when the comes to pass blocking. Dennis Allen really needs to get better when it comes to rushing a passer. Especially when it comes to mobile quarterbacks and just rushing the passer in general. We don't have a lot of sacks this year. Our sack numbers went down because we basically just get coverage sacks because we have such a good secondary. That's like the only thing that you can credit Dennis Allen for. He does know how to coach up a secondary. Like that's one thing that's going to always be top 10, top 5 when it comes to him on a team. You're going to have a good secondary. That just is what it is. But as the offseason continues, a lot of fans don't really have any excitement or confidence for the team, man. The staff, they've been real quiet and they just trying to figure out a way to gain the fan base trust. A lot of people wanted Dennis Allen fired. We didn't get that. So now we just looking towards what can we do to be excited. I think the only thing that you can have people be excited is either keep the pillars on this team like Taysom Hill, uh, Marshawn Lattimore, maybe re-sign Michael Thomas again, Alvin Kamara, keep these cornerstone players on this team, the fan favorite guys, or at least keep most of them. And, you know, I think that could be a way that you can at least, don't just have the fan base in disarray. Or if you're going to move on from these guys, you're going to have to make up for it in a big way. And that's drafting a quarterback in the first round. Now, they could get, maybe Jaden Daniels. They could get maybe Penix, or maybe even Cam Ward. But I don't think they'll, just put that much value on Cam Ward for the first round pick. Maybe somewhere in the second or the third. But you're going to need some type of spark for the fan base to get back behind you. Going into another season with Dennis Allen as the head coach, I don't think nobody has any enthusiasm, just running it back with the same old thing. That's like the definition of insanity. A lot of these players going to get older. A lot of these players might get shipped out of town. A lot of these players that already checked out. They don't want to play for Dennis Allen. They already didn't said it in so many words. So it's like, where do you go from here? How can you sell a fan base on, having a fun, exciting season? If we're not gonna make the playoffs for a third year, at least let it be fun, exciting, and something to hope for. Like that's the main thing you need as a fan. Hope. You need faith. If you ain't got no hope or no faith, what's the point of being a fan? You know? And right now, I think a lot of people don't have no hope or no faith as long as Dennis Allen is, at the helm. We heard Amy Trez. He cannot lead a room full of men. He cannot. He just have bad social skills. Nobody wants to play for him. Nobody wants to work with him, even on the staff. It's just bad, bro. Like, and I just feel like it trickles down. There's no way you can have success with that. He can only beat bad teams. We can't beat good teams. And the bad teams that we do beat, sometimes we barely get up out there by the head of our ass. So it's like, if you can only beat bad teams, but you can't beat the good teams, how do you expect to have any type of sustainable success with multiple division banners, with multiple playoff appearances, with a deep playoff run? How could you be able to sustain that? And the only reason I think we could win the division is just because the division is piss poor. But I feel like the division ain't got nowhere to go but up right now. You got the Panthers. I still believe in Bryce Young. If he get a good offensive coordinator and head coach with him, I believe that he can do better. They already got a good defense. Say what you want about the Panthers. They had a good defense all year, you know. And if they just get some good, better weapons, they can make something happen. But they gotta cater towards Bryce Young's strengths, you know. And you got the Falcons. I feel like shoot, they probably the most dangerous out the whole division. They got rid of their head coach. They got all these good head coaches available right now. If they get one of these good head coaches, and if they get a quarterback, once they announce they drafted Jada Daniels, boy, the whole QA nation just gonna be just, oh man, that's just gonna be a big blow because they got weapons and they got a good defense. So all they need is a quarterback. You know, they get a quarterback, they get a head coach, they get a good offensive coordinator. It's a wrap. And then you got the Bucks. The Bucks still got some solid players that's from that same Super Bowl team on that roster. You know, now will they stick with Ty Bowles? I don't know. A lot of people say he's on the hot seat just because he lost at home in a you know uh, they if they would have just beat the Saints at home, they wouldn't even have to worry about that Panthers game. They could have rested their players. They got their ass bust. And then with the Panthers game, they barely beat the Panthers. You know, luck had went their way on a lot of them players that the Panthers was almost about to make. And a kind of hustle, but 9-0 in a game against the worst team in the league. And then you go into the playoffs and you playing one of the most coldest teams in the Eagles. I mean, if you lose that game, maybe you. Well, I didn't believe Todd Bowles was the answer anyway. But a lot of people making it about race, like because he's a black man and all that. Like I never thought he was the answer anyway. And if you just in the season, like how the way he's ending it, I mean, I think he should be on the hot seat too. And I don't think Baker Mayfield is the future. I just think he's a good stopgap. He's a good, stopgap quarterback. If you're a franchise and you know you don't really have a quarterback and you just need somebody to just be a bridge quarterback, I think Baker Mayfield is a good option. You know. Let me go ahead and read a few of the comments. We got Mikey, Saints fan for life. What's up, Mikey? What up, Jerry? Jerry says I got the Texans, the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Packers, and the Lions, and the Eagles winning this weekend. Well, shoot, that's a good lineup right there, Jerry. That's a good lineup. No, DA has not been fired, Jerry. We we did not get our New Year's resolution and get Dennis Allen up out of here. That is not gonna happen. Maybe after next season, but like I was saying, man, they just prolonging the inevitable. You just wasting a lot of the guys' primes, instead of just doing what you got to do right now. Hit the reset button right now. Just doing the right thing. You're just gonna be wasting a lot of dudes' primes, and a lot of the young guys. They're gonna have to just be on the year that's gonna get punted. In other words, you're gonna just punt this year because we ain't going nowhere with Dennis Allen. So we're gonna have to just bring in the young guys. They're gonna have to listen to Dennis Allen until we finally get another coach up in here, and it's gonna be the voice that they need to listen to, or hopefully they could listen to. Because once Dennis Allen leave, I'm pretty confident anybody will be better than him, but we still gotta hire the right man. Mickey Loomis has not been fired. Mickey Loomis ain't going nowhere. What's taking so long? I'm ready to party. Oh yeah, everybody ready. There's gonna be a whole big old black party when Dennis Allen get fired. That's gonna be like our national holiday as Saints fans in the Who That Nation. The firing of Dennis Allen. That's gonna be a day like uh how we made 28-3 the third of the 28 on the third of every year. We that's like our national holiday to poke fun at the Falcons. Sure, the firing of Dennis Allen gonna be a national holiday as well. I believe. Titans fired Mike. Patriots fired Bill. But we keeping Da. Hey, I think it was time to fire Bill, man. Like his era, he had a good era for what they did, but I just think it's time for a change, man. And Mike Vrabel, I mean, I don't really think they could have fired Mike Vrabel. I just think they just needed to get that offense right. But if they want to go in a different direction, then who am I to judge? Uh, I did a video on that Thursday. Sure. Shouts out to you making some videos, Jerry. Let's see. We got Snake Bite up in the building. Who that? What up, Snake Bite? You always joining the stream. But yeah, man, it's like I feel like they're not gonna get a quarterback in the first round, so you could kind of X that off your list of hopeful things. It's cool to be hopeful, but just don't have your hopes too high. So when we don't pick that quarterback, don't just be in such an outrage. Just already have it in your head. 9 times out of 10, we're gonna beef up that offensive line. You got Ryan Ramczyk. He's on the back end of his career. He's been dealing with severe injuries, and I hope Ryan Ramczyk just go ahead on and just hang it up and retire. If he retires, that will really help us out with the cap situation. Um, Instead of him just staying on the books, that'll really help us out. And on top of that, just from like not from a football standpoint, but just a life standpoint, you don't want him to go out there and severely injure himself even more. And then after he do retire, he just going to be dealing with that pain for the rest of his life. Like that's just not the way to go. We already see Drew Brees. He said he can't barely even throw a football right now. That he gave as such as all he gave all he could give for this city. A lot of these guys in the NFL, they deal with lingering injuries and amputated limbs and a lot of other stuff. You know, because they leaving it out all on the field. But sometimes you just got to know when to hang it up because when he retire, he's still going to have to be a father. He's still going to have to be a son. He's still going to have to be a brother. Like he's still going to have family things that he's going to have to do, and you don't want to do that in pain. So we definitely need to get better with the right tackle position. I think we could put Penny right there and just try him out as the right tackle because I don't think he's fit to be a left tackle. We damn sure gonna need to get another left tackle. We just can't depend on Pete. It's hard for him to stay healthy. You know, and he had a good year, but can he do it again? And he's getting up there in age, so we still gonna need to get younger anyway. And then on top of that, you got left guard. We can't just depend on Hurst being right there. Hurst is a serviceable backup. He's not a starter. So we need to get better with the guard position. So that's three main things on the offensive line that we need to get better with. The only people on the offensive line that really just secure in a position is Cesar Ruiz. We just already paid him, even though he had a down year, and Eric McCoy. We paid him, and he had a down year. So, but I just think those guys are still solid guys. I just think it's pretty much Doug Marrone not getting the best of them. So I think we do need to go in a different direction when it comes to offensive line coach, because damn near all these guys are first and second round picks. So I feel like that first pick needs to go to helping Derek Carr in them trenches and get him some blocking, and not only get him some blocking, but getting him some maulers for the run game for help him out when it comes to the run, because we didn't have no love in the run game. I don't think Derek Carr played bad. I mean, I don't think Derek Carr played well this year. I think he played average to below average, but he could have damn sure played a lot more better if we had a run game, and we did not have no run game supporting him. So I definitely think we need to get some guys up in there that could really run block and really pass block, and then stop getting some soft offensive linemen. I want some rough riders. I want some roughnecks. I want some dudes that, you know, just kind of like crazy in the head. Like we just get too many nice guys, too many Jigglypuff ass. Man, like I want some men that's gonna go out there and just be ready to be on some Kyle Turley type shit. And I thought that was gonna be Penning. I thought that was gonna be Penning, but Penning couldn't really see the field for whatever reason. Like they say his play was bad, but I think it was more of a disciplinary thing. And maybe Penning was one of them guys who wasn't watching his iPad. A lot of these guys, they get iPads and they supposed to go home and study them and know what they doing. And I think a lot of the guys wasn't studying their iPads. I could see Penning not studying his. I could see Kendre Miller not studying his. That's mostly the young guys. Yeah, they could be in your face saying they're gonna study it, but when you get a 21, 22-year old and he got all this money, all this access to all these women on social media, you think they're gonna go home and be studying? Hell no. They're gonna be partying, they're gonna be messing with this girl, messing with that girl, be doing all type of other stuff but studying, you know. So, but that's gonna come with maturity, and that's just gonna come with, being up under some good seasoned vets that's going to steer you in the right direction. That's why if we do get rid of some of these people in the locker room, it may get worse. It may get worse. Not to mention we got a harder schedule next year, I believe. But at the end of the day, we still got the second easiest schedule again next year at the moment, before the draft and before free agency and all that starts. Well, really just going off of win percentages and stuff like that. But we still got a pretty easy schedule next year, but I do think it's much harder than this year, especially if the quarterbacks that we play next year are healthy. Because we had an easy schedule this year, but even the quarterbacks that we were supposed to play made it even easier because they didn't play. So hopefully next year when we do play these teams, and if they quarterback do go down, we dominate in a better fashion. But yeah, man, it's a lot to look at. We got to look at special teams. We got groupies. He's probably going to come back in the second season. He might have more confidence in his kicks. I don't know what they're going to do with Lou Hedley. I definitely think they need to bring another punter in. He started punting better uh, later on in the season. I don't know if that's going to help his chances on sticking with the team or not, but he definitely needs some competition brought in. Um, Shit. And as far as Marshawn Lattimore, by him getting ready to looking like he might get traded for some value, shoot, Paulson Adebo, he gonna have all the leverage and he gonna demand a big contract. So are we gonna pay Paulson Adebo or are we gonna trade him? We might trade Paulson Adebo. Who knows? Who knows? Everybody talking about Lattimore, but what if Paulson Debo is the one who get traded, and we just keep Alante Taylor and put Alante Taylor back on the outside? You never know. You never know. Um, but Jordan Howden, I definitely think that Jordan Howden need to take a bigger role next season. Marcus May, he's always inconsistent, and if he's not even on the field, he's injured off the field. It's just like we need to move on from Marcus May. In these 2 years, the production ain't matching the contract. The production is not matching the contract. Even Tyrann Matthew, he's doing much better, and he's always playing damn near every game. So I liking the production that he's getting out of Tyrann Matthew. Pete Werner, I do think we need to go ahead on and finally get a linebacker like, you know, Demarcus. I mean, Demario. He's getting up in age. He's having a good season again, but at the same time, it's only for how much longer he's gonna keep this up. We seen him take a step back, but he started picking things up later on later part of the season. I think the injury that he suffered early on was really hampering him, like those first 2 months or so. But after that, you know, sure he hit the ground running and never looked back. Pete Werner, he didn't live up to my expectations. So I do think we need to just go ahead on and get another linebacker up in here who could really take the place of Demario once he up out of here. And if Pete Werner, if he don't excel, sure, maybe his job could be on the line. So Jerry says I don't see a Debo being traded. Well, I mean, we already paid Marshawn, so I'm pretty sure Debo he gonna want that money too because he just had a phenomenal season. Like or Debo, he didn't really have no game that was just that terrible to me. Like a lot of people say he had a bad game against the Rams, but I think that was more so uh Alante Taylor to me. But you know, even if he did have a bad game against the Rams, one game out of 17, sure, I'll take that any day. Paulson Debo had a damn good year. Um, but Brian Brzee, sure, he had a good year too. We still probably could go ahead on and re-sign Roach. He's going to be a free agent. I would like to see him back. I think he had a better season than Colin Sanders and Nathan Shepard, in my opinion. Um, but it's gonna be interesting to see what we do with the first round pick. Does Dennis Allen want to help out Derek Carr, his prized possession quarterback, or does he want to help out his side of the ball and make himself look good and get that toy pass rusher that he could play with? Like, you know, does Dennis Allen just want to get one of these guys like Verse about the draft or Dallas Turner about the draft? Like, it's a lot of guys that could be game wrecking, defensive ends that can help us on that edge. And especially if we get rid of Marshawn Lattimore. If we get rid of Marshawn Lattimore, I don't care if you got a Debo and Alante Taylor out there. For 17 weeks, you're going to need to get to that pass rusher. I mean, you're going to need to get to that passer with a good pass rush. Like, forget all that. Like you can't just be thinking you're gonna get coverage sacks all the time, and just because you got a good secondary that's gonna just work all the time. You got to get to the passer, especially with all these mobile quarterbacks coming into the league. Like we play a lot of good quarterbacks next year. We play Justin Herbert. We play Patrick Mahomes. We play Dak Prescott. We play a lot of these guys. So do we want to go sack them? Or do we want to just let them be back there all day doing their taxes? Or you can look at it on the other hand. Do you want to keep up with them? Give Derek Carr some time. Give Derek Carr some blocking. Give Derek Carr help when it comes to the run game. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do with our first round pick. But I can tell you one thing: we need to hit on our picks this year. Like if it was a time to hit on the picks, this is the time. So I think that we got to hit. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think I had some audio problems right there, but I'm back. I'm back good. But yeah, man. So let me know what you guys think. Like, what do y'all think we should go with the first pick? Do y'all think we should go with offensive line or do we go with defensive line? Assuming we not getting a quarterback. Let me know what y'all think we should do. I think we should go ahead on and just draft a offensive lineman because we just need too much help on that side of the ball. And defense alignment, sure, we just need to go ahead on and just grab one in the second round and hope that Foskey could develop. Hope that we could develop Bonbo when it come to rushing a passer, and That's pretty much all we can ask for. I hope that Brazilian Carl Granderson take that next level. That's pretty much all we can ask for, because the offensive line just need too much help. It's too many holes on that side. And who knows, we might move on from Pete. Pete had a good year. Maybe he gonna play his way up out of New Orleans. Maybe he, set a market for himself of value. Well, another team won't pick him up, and we just can't afford to pay Pete because we got to pay a lot of other guys as well. You know, like I say, Paulson Adebo, he gonna want his money. He really performed well. Not to mention, we're gonna have to give Rashid Shaheed a good contract. He's an exclusive free agent, that we got exclusive rights to. So we're gonna have to pay him and give him some type of contract. So we got a lot to deal with on our plate, you know. But if Ryan Ramczyk retire, that's gonna be yet another position that we're gonna have to fill with that right tackle. And even if he get brought back, like you still got to attack that as if he's gonna retire, because you don't know if he's gonna be able to finish out the season, you know. So I ain't gonna be too much long on this stream. I just wanted to come in and talk to y'all, pop in and then pop out, But I feel like the uh the organization is real quiet right now. A lot of fans have started a GoFundMe to put up a Fire Dennis Allen billboard, but Mickey Loomis basically got that shut down. So he hear our outcry. They hear it, they see it, they feel it. They wouldn't have had a 30-minute meeting with all the players for nothing. Like they said, they had got everything under control, and Dennis Allen hasn't lost the locker room. Well, if he hasn't lost the locker room, why y'all talking to all the players for 30 minutes, asking them, are y'all in or are y'all out? That's a contradiction to me. You know, you're not gonna ask all these players, are they all in or all out? All these players, they've been telling y'all in the interviews pretty much summing up everything in so many words. Dennis Allen know damn well them players, had checked out from him. You got Cam Jordan on there. He's getting asked questions and he's really answering it in a way where, he's just not giving a firm answer. They asked him, is Dennis Allen the right leader? He said, well, Dennis Allen is the coach, and until that sentence is changed, that is what it is. Like, he know what he's doing when he say stuff like that. It's not no coincidence that Dennis Allen is getting all this heat coming down on him. Yet not one player is backing him, and banging the tables on it. Not one player is banging the tables backing him. Like if you was a real good coach and you getting all this heat, you're gonna have players coming out the woodwork, on social media in these interviews saying, "Man, Dennis Allen is a good head coach. Man, I don't want him to go nowhere. We want him back next year. This and this happened for this and this reason." You're gonna get that. You don't get none of that for Dennis Allen. Think about that. But everybody coming out the woodwork side with Jameis when it comes to his decision on quote unquote disrespecting the coach or disrespecting the game. So just think about that, you know. And Dennis Allen, he came in as like some type of understudy or uh, advisor or whatever when Rob Ryan was here, and he ultimately took Rob Ryan's job. Maybe it might be the same thing when it comes to John Gruden. The writing is kind of on the wall. This Dennis Allen last ride. This Dennis Allen last chance. Like if we don't make the playoffs, Dennis Allen's going to get fired. Like, make no mistake about it. If we don't make the playoffs next year, Dennis Allen gonna get fired. I think he's on his last leg. So, and I don't think he's gonna get the same luck that he got this year. Not to mention, if they want to get rid of all these players, you're gonna lose production. You're gonna lose production. If you get rid of Marshawn Lattimore, a lot of the players gonna see that. They ain't gonna be bought in. If you get rid of Alvin Kamara or Taysom Hill or a lot of these pillar guys, they're not gonna be brought in. They preach continuity, yet they tearing apart the whole culture. Keeping continuity culture, but yet they tearing it apart. You know, so it's gonna be a interesting offseason to see what they do to get this fan base back on board. They definitely got to hit in a draft. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with the free agent market. They might lose Kai Hartley. They might lose Jeff Ireland. I'm not sure how this whole offseason going to go, but it's damn sure going to be interesting. And I'm going to be here covering it. Any type of big news they got coming out, I'm going to be right here covering it. It's a lot of coaches getting fired and, moving around. It's a whole big old shuffle of coaches right now going on, and a good quarterback draft going on. And we're going to miss out on both just to please Dennis Allen and please Mickey Loomis, because Mickey Loomis is just doubling down on him being right at the moment. But it's inevitable that he'll be fired. It's inevitable. It's just how long they want to prolong this franchise and make us wait. It's just like the Matt Rule thing in Carolina. They held on him way longer than the Panthers fans wanted to. Same with Arthur Smith in Atlanta. Held on him for 3 years. A lot of the fans wanted him gone last year. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we play it. Um, they got the Senior Bowl coming up. We value the Senior Bowl a lot when it comes to players. We like the mature players. We like team captain players with leadership and maturity. So they're going to be out there looking at guys. Um, After that, so it's going to be everything leading up to the draft. Like I say, man, we got to hit in this draft. A lot of people thinking about a tight end. A lot of people think that, Foster Monroe, he ain't that guy. Jimmy Graham, he might retire. He flying over New Orleans saying goodbye. A lot of people, they don't believe in Jawan Johnson. Maybe we get Brock Bowers at 14. I think he'll probably be there, you know. So we just get some help for Derek Carr. That'll put some asses backs in the seats. But you got to get an exciting player, though. But if we get an offensive line player, I don't think that's going to be exciting for the fans. But it's the necessary work that you got to do. A lot of the time, the game is won up in the trenches, and it's won schematically. Who got the better coach? Who got the better quarterback? Who got the better trench play? And right now, we ain't got no good coach. We ain't got no good trenches, and our quarterback is average at best. So if we're gonna want to help anything, it gotta be the trenches. And offensive line, it ain't the sexy pick, but it's a necessary pick. If you want to bust open runs for 10 yards, averaging five yards sometimes, averaging 4.2 yards sometimes, you got to get better with that trench play. If you want to get some good pass blocking when you got a good, nice pocket for your quarterback, he has some time to make a play, which we've seen Derek Carr is capable of if we get him time. You got to get better with the trench play. So, like I say, who that nation? Be prepared. Don't have your hopes high on that quarterback. Just already have it in your mind that we get an offensive lineman in that first round. And if it's not an offensive lineman, it's likely going to be a defensive lineman. And if it's a defensive lineman, it's going to be an edge. Offensive lineman is going to be a tackle. So, but I ain't want to stay too long with that nation. I just wanted to pop in and pop out. Thanks for everybody who came to the stream. I ain't gonna take any calls tonight. Might get back on tomorrow, take some calls, or wait till something big go down, take some calls, and everybody could chime in and give their 2 cents on what they feel about the news. Hopefully, we get some good news soon, though. Who that nation? Lord knows we need it because we ain't been getting none lately. But let me see. Gundam said linebackers is a key need. Oh yeah, I already said that early in the stream. Gundam, Demario Davis, he's getting up there. He was dealing with an injury early on, but after he combated that injury and overcame it, he started looking back to his, you know, all pro self. And I think he made the all pro team. So I think this was like his fifth all pro or something. Like he's one of a few players in Saints history that actually done that. So, and Pete Werner, he took a step back this season. I don't know if it was injuries or I don't know, but he definitely took a step back. Sorry, fam. Thanks for covering linebackers. Yeah, man, we need some linebackers. You're seeing linebackers of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers like Devin White and Levante David both moving around and just, sideline to sideline, man. That's just a damn good attribute to have, a good linebacker play. They could stop the run. They could stop these mobile quarterbacks. They could, go out there and cover tight ends. Like, We could do that, but like I say, man, Demario Davis, he lost a little bit of a step, but he's still good. And Pete Werner, he just not hitting that ceiling that we want. So linebackers, I feel like we definitely go ahead on and need to draft one soon. Maybe we could get one in the third round or something, but the first and the second round is definitely going to have to either go to quarterback or the trenches. You know, uh, Jerry says linebackers is definitely a need. I agree. Pete Werner has regressed horribly. Gundam says, "Oh yeah, but I mean, Pete Werner's still young. It was just a down year. It was just a down year for him. I think he can bounce back though. He's still young. I ain't gonna just write him off the boat, but I definitely would bring somebody in to challenge him. You know, ain't nothing wrong with some challenging a guy at his position. Maybe that make him play better. Because when you just got your job secured and nobody gunning for your job, you can go ahead on and you know not play as intensive. You know, we all seen it at our work. At our work of ourselves. You see employees if ain't nobody gunning for them to get their job took. They might get complacent. But when somebody coming up in there and they challenging you for your position, shoot, you gonna pick up the pace. So that's all I think it needs a little shake up. And we tried, but you gotta hit on some early picks. You can't just be getting these, 6 and 7 round picks from these little smaller schools and think they're gonna just come in and take a damn good linebacker spot. Like Mario Davis is a damn good linebacker. Pete Werner, for his rookie season, he was a damn good linebacker. First things first, an offensive tackle. I agree, Jerry. We damn sure need some help in the offensive side of the ball in the trenches. The young linebacker court that got hurt was surging in a positive direction. Oh yeah. Who you talking about? DeMarco Jackson? Yeah, you probably talking about him. Yeah, he was. Gundam. Gundam says offensive guard, Jerry. Who that fam? I mean guard. A lot of people don't really take guard high or in the mid first rounds. Like I think we could get a guard in the second round. But for what we got at 14, we could go ahead on and get a good top tackle. Like we probably could get the fourth best tackle at 14, you know. But at 14, you probably could get the first best offensive guard. So you really could go either way. Like I wouldn't be mad if they did get a guard, but if we did get a guard, that kind of means that we're re-signing Pete and we re-signing Ram. So that's what I think could happen if we go the guard route. But I'm gonna go ahead on and sign off. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe. I might do a stream tomorrow or the day afterwards. I'm gonna take calls, so hopefully we get some good news soon. Like I say, we damn sure need it because it just been terrible lately. And it's crazy. It's been terrible after we beat the Falcons 48-17. Still just terrible. But y'all be safe, man. Who that, man?